Welcome back, everybody. We are at a really crucial time in this project where we are learning how to validate the information that's being submitted. And just as developers, it's our job to make sure that we are designing a system that's secure, designing a system that thinks of every possible way somebody could screw something up. And so what we've done is you're submitting the amount and we're making sure that it's formatted in the right format with two places to the right of the decimal, and we can delete this dump amount here. And then we're going in and we're checking to see, does the student ID, does the RFID tag really exist? If it does, then we're going to get it. And then the next thing is their balance in their account bigger or equal to what they're trying to charge? If it's yes, then this. If no, then what we're going to do is we're going to copy this up here, and we're going to say, we're going to take this and we're going to say, low balance. We'll just do that. We could do insufficient funds, but I don't like spelling. So anyway, now what we want to do, we can clear up some of this space here because we're ready to actually make the transaction. So we're obviously not going to just echo yes on the screen. So we're going to come here and look at the database, and we're going to see if I come in here to Smart Scan and transactions. So we'll look at it this way with the structure because it's a little easier to see. So what we want to do is we want to insert a transaction. So we are going to make an array, and I always use fields, and just a habit, equals array. And then I'm going to bump this one down to multiple rows so it's easy to see what we're doing. And this is the information that we want to update. So what we want to do is we want to say student. We want to record the student's ID. Now, basically what's going to happen here is whatever is on the left side of this column is what's getting inserted, and whatever's on the right side of this column is the data that we're actually inserting into that row. So we already have this thing here where we've grabbed the student from the database. So what we can do is we can do student ID, and that's going to say that in this column, we're going to put the student ID that we got from looking up their RFID badge. And you'll notice I put a comma here at the end, not a semicolon. Then done by is the column name. And now here's something with User Spice. Whenever you're logged in, you always have access to do user data ID. And what that means is whatever the logged in user's ID is going to go in this table. Now the next thing we want is the amount, and we are going to grab this variable right here. And in fact, let's make it a little neater. We can tab these over, and so we're going to do that right there. And then date created. Now we got to tab one more time to make it even. Now PHP has a built-in function that will allow you to get the current date, and this is not you can Google PHP date and you'll get all the different options, but we want to use this particular option. So I'm just going to write it out for you. We want to do date, and then in quotes we want to put capital Y M D H I S. Okay, and that is not obvious at all, but basically this is the 4-digit year, the 2-digit month, the 2-digit date, 24-hour clock, minutes, and seconds. And so what we're doing is we are telling it that we want to put the current date and time in this column here. And then now, if you look over here on transaction types, on this one, we've already made one called Snack Shop, and that one has an ID of 1. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to write that in here. So we're going to come to transaction type, and we're going to put a 1 there. And so we got to tab over again. I did not think this through. Okay, that works. So we are just hard coding a 1 in there because this is the Snack Shop page, and so that is, that's the transaction code for this page. So we're not worried about the other two right now. We may come back and do that later, but we're just going to neaten up this array here, and like that. So now we have this array called fields, and inside of it, it has all of our data. It has the student ID, has done by, the amount, the date created, and the transaction type. So what we're going to do, we're going to use something new for the database, and this is nice and easy. We're going to write db insert. So what we're basically telling it is that we want to insert a row into the database. And the first thing you need to tell it, it only takes 2 parameters. The first thing you want to tell it is what table you want to put it in. And so the table we're going to put it in is transactions. And then the next thing we have to tell it after we put the comma is what data we want to put in there. And the reason why we spaced all this out up here is because now we can just put fields. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and do 2 things at once because we're going to live dangerously. But basically what would happen here is it will insert all of this information into the transactions table if we typed everything right. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to go in. So we learned how to do an insert. But what we want to do is we want to go in there and we want to update the balance of the student to reflect the fact that we took this money out. So we're going to make a variable and we're going to call it new balance. And the new balance is going to be the student balance. This is their old balance minus the amount that we're charging them. Does that make sense? So they had a balance of $100 and we're charging them a penny. And so the new balance will be $100 minus a penny. So what we're going to do is we're going to use another one of these short handy things here. And this one is called update. And it takes 3 parameters. So we're going to do db update. Now the 3 things that this needs are the table, which is students, because again, we're updating this students table. And then the next thing it needs is the row. Now this is where that ID comes in handy because we have this ID for all these students and we have it right here, student ID. We got it back when we were looking up the RFID tag. So we can do student ID. Now, what we could do, in fact, we'll do it this way. We're going to make another array. And we're just going to do it real simple. We can reuse the name fields equals array. And then we're going to just do one thing. The only thing that's going to go in this array is balance, which is the balance that we're trying to update. And then we're going to put the arrow. And then we're going to do new balance. Okay? So basically, to step back here, what we're doing is we're making sure that they're a real person. We're making sure that they have enough money, that the money is formatted correctly. If it is, then we are going to charge. We're going to post a transaction on that transaction table saying, hey, the snack shop took whatever amount of money. And then we're going to subtract that amount from their balance. And we do that. We finish that off by writing fields. So what we've done is we've said, update the students table. Whatever row we're talking about, whatever row we scanned, update that and update their balance. And so now at the end, what we're going to do is we're going to redirect here. And we're going to redirect to snackshop.php error equals. Now, we can be a little fancy here, and this will be the last thing we'll do in this video, but let's say that we want to kind of do a little, and I'm saying very little bit of security, and we want to be able to say who was charged that amount of money. Well, we have that because we've already queried the student table, so we have the student's first name. And so what we can do is we can make a nice little message at the top of the screen. And so we can say student, let's do it this way. We're going to do the little dots. Student F name, okay. Then we're going to say was charged. And then we're going to do, we want to say the amount that they were charged. And then we're going to say new bal like this, and then we're going to do new balance. And so just to show you real quick what we're doing, and then we're going to do this. So what we did is, after we update the students thing to show that the money was taken out of their account, and there could be some bugs, and if there are, we'll fix them in the next video. But we're going to redirect here, and we're going to refresh the page, and we're going to say this student was charged this amount, and their new balance is this, because there's a chance that they may be asked, they may ask what their new balance is or something like that. So we're going to save this, and we're just going to try it. So we're going to make a sale amount of 25 cents. And I'm going to scan a badge, and we got an error. So let's see, unexpected parentheses on line 56. We knew this was a possibility. We talked about it. So 56, unexpected parentheses here. So we have this here. Let's look here. So did I forget a dot somewhere? I did not forget a dot. What I forgot to do was to put the word to, redirect to this page. And so now we can refresh the page, and Kim was charged 25 cents. New balance is 75 cents. So I'll do it again. We'll charge her 10 cents this time, and I will scan this. And now Kim was charged 10 cents. Her new balance is 65 cents. And so, I mean, that's pretty sweet. So in fact, we can even put the dollar sign here. And so I'll charge her one more time. She's my wife. I'll charge her 5 cents and scan it. And now she was charged 5 cents. Now, okay, so that's interesting. So new balance, we caught a bug. So what we did not do there is force this to be another 2-digit number. So what we're going to do, we are going to use this same snippet right here to format that number. Because what happens is, you know, the math is automatically going to round this number off. It doesn't care that it's currency. So what we're going to say is new balance equals, and we're going to reformat that to 2 digits. So let's see here. So what we've said is we've done the math, and then we're going back through here, and we're forcing it to be 2 digits. So if I do another 0.05 and I scan, then her balance is 55 cents. Now, if I subtract another 5, we want to see 50 cents here, not 0.5 cents or $0.5. So if I do 0.05 and I scan, now her balance is 50 cents. So, you know, bugs are going to happen, but we fixed it, and now we are ready to move on.